Oh, wait. Oh, somebody say hello.
Hello.
Valen, say hi.
Hello.
Okay. Hold on.
Is it me? No, I'm good.
There.
Yay.
I couldn't hear anything. I was thinking everybody was ignoring me, but it's not true. Hello. Yay. Hi, everybody. I
Hi, hi.
am, I am
Uh,
recording. I, I'm recording so that we'll get this up on Kajabi as well. I noticed that there was a 404 page on the Kajabi when you tried to sign in, Michelle. I think that's been fixed.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Changing URLs.
Yeah, it turns out if you change the title of it, because we wanted to make sure it had the year, and that changed the URL, and so that was a fun lesson to learn.
I know
Right.
from I was just scrambling to see what I missed and quickly catch up this morning before the class and Sunday. Sorry.
Right. This is just on every Tuesday at noon. We just come on here in case you have questions about the material you learned or any other SEO, Google Ads, or marketing and marketing business questions. We just wanted to make ourselves available because we know that things come up in your businesses, and it's a good time to just have a personal chitty chat. Did anybody have any questions today? No, I have some here. Been organizing. But how did everybody feel about the first class? Was it like a fire hose?
No, it was really good. I thought it
Okay.
was great.
Okay, great.
I
Um,
haven't done the homework though, so I feel like I'm missing something.
okay, so homework is basically self managed. I will, because we cover so much material, what's going to happen if you notice in the Facebook group, there's a couple extra little bits of, hey, how to do this, right?
Yeah.
So those are things you could practice. As we get deeper into what we're learning, there's probably going to be a lot of things you're going to have to or want to practice on your own because it's a lot. So we're going to do things like how to add a user to Google Analytics and things, little things, bite-sized information to keep getting you familiar, because this is yesterday, just for an example, my mom was trying to sign up for email sending cards. And she got really frustrated just because every time she clicked, it went backwards. Why do I tell you this? Because that's what's going to happen with these profiles. You're not going to know where to look. You're not going to know what to do. Eventually, by the end of this course, you'll see that Google does things the same way on every platform, slowly but surely. Like, so you'll know where to dig or where to look. And but we found the most frustrating thing is when you're looking to try to figure something out and you need that bite-sized information, like how to add a user, and it takes you like 20 minutes. So this makes it easier. And so the homework that, or the stuff we were practicing last week, we didn't even really go through in the slide deck, which was creating a Google alert and searching incognito. Those two things are going to be really helpful. I'm going to do another little video of how to search incognito on your phone. So they'll be in the Facebook group. On our co-working sessions, those are the things we're going to practice together. You don't have to come. There's a lot of options. You're going to get sick of me seeing me 3 days a week for a year. So don't feel obligated to come to these things, right? It's the live class is probably the most important. Yeah. Monette, I see you. I know you have a question. I can see it.
I always really do, but I'm wondering why the rest of my team are not yet here. But anyway, I'll leave them to that. Although I do want to say that when we tried our initial like last year of, or I don't know when that was, like doing Google Ads, when we didn't really figure out the best way to do it, it wasn't quite showing up on the first page or anything like that. However, it was actually still beneficial because somehow, for some reason, our website just had a lot more impressions everywhere else, even when the ad wasn't showing. So we were getting more clicks, but not paying for it. Somehow, maybe just Google just figure that, oh, these guys are paying, we'll show them more somewhere organically. So we're like, we'd be okay if the ad doesn't, although we still updated it so that it shows more, but we thought, okay, that could be a strategy. Do you know that, or is that something that's new, or maybe it's just a coincidence? Because
That's a good question. There's a lot of talk about this. If you do Google Ads, does it help with your SEO? We are supposed to tell you that they are separate and distinct algorithms. But then we also have to look at human behavior, right? So they are separate and distinct. One, Google Ads, you bid in an auction, and SEO, you're trying to do things on your site to rank, right? And or other things across the web. And when I search, if the business name shows up as an ad, I still click on the organic because I don't know. I try not to cost them money. Some people don't know. Like it's astonishing how many people don't know that it's an ad. So yes, I do think one can affect the other. I've heard some people say, "Oh my God, I took my ad down and my rank went down." That's not true. You just didn't get as much traffic because ads were bringing you traffic. So there's a lot of dialogue on this, especially like if you notice in the map section, it's harder to tell if it's an ad for some reason. And so you'll just click.
Yeah, I was gonna say, building off that there is one weird circumstance when you run ads and then all of a sudden you get more impressions, and that is in the map section. You don't have any control over it, but you can, if you start bidding and you've connected your Google My Business, that you can start showing up and getting more impressions that way, but we don't have any control over it, and so it's a weird little wrinkle in that, so that might be affecting it. It's tough to say exactly.
Right, thank you. So I think what we're doing now is we're actually gonna just add in more ads and don't really care whether those ads go in the front or not, just to like see if it actually helps, because it seems to be. And so then we're actually getting more impressions or clicks without paying for them.
Well, that's good. That's good. It's nice when you get that phone call from somebody who's found you on Google. No word of a lie. That's the best. And it's hard to do. It takes years, and there's so much competition between businesses that one day you'll be there, the next you won't, depending on what you're doing, right? So that's a good question. Love Google Ads. Google Ads, so the third part of what we're learning is right around the time, I think, that Google's switching over to what are called RSA only ads, which are responsive search ads. So that's what you'll be learning, how to create those. And they're fun. So you won't be doing the regular text ads anymore. You'll be doing, and RSA ads are ads with 15 headlines and 4 descriptions. And they want you to have one ad per ad group, and they'll figure out what the best combination is. So yeah, excited about Google Ads. We're diving deeper and deeper into YouTube ads.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You triggered my thinking. Like now you said there's like rules around what things should have. Do you have guidelines for like how many letters should be in the title? Yep. And what should be included, and what should be included in the meta description, and how many letters it should be, and like that sort of stuff, and the
yes.
URL.
So I have not only a gorgeous template that I love to pieces. Yeah, of course, you're getting everything. One of the things we do, which really helps us, that we've developed over time, and is, so there's going to be a couple sheets you get. Hopefully just a couple. There's lots. One of the sheets we do, it has the character length, so you don't go over the meta description and titles. It turns the numbers a different color when you've gone over. And we do that. We also teach you in the on-page SEO class, we go into deep detail about what should be included in a meta description, what works, what kind of things to try. Yeah, it's super fun. One little tricky thing is a place to get wonderful resources are your reviews. If you go and literally pluck the text out of your reviews and put it in something like your meta descriptions, your titles, you're actually using the language of your customers.
Thank
Well,
you.
and Google's making that even easier because they've been doing like they search through your ads and they say, or your reviews, and they say, hey, they say professionalism like 17 times, or great experience 12 times, and then they actually will tell you ranking how often people are mentioning this in your reviews.
Yeah, it's very interesting they do that now. So there's a lot of changes afoot on Google, right?
Irrelevant of where your reviews are coming from. Like we have reviews on Yelp, on the website, on Facebook, on like gathering them all.
Yeah. Sometimes Google will index the other reviews and say, like, in the Google like knowledge panel that you get for your business, it'll say reviews by like Facebook or Yelp. I think sometimes it includes Yelp too.
Yeah, I think you have to do, we'll go over that as part of like when we do schema, because we will include your same ads, and that will have your social media links. And I think when they scan those, they'll take the review because there's some schema that's there that says like, oh, you get 4 out of 5 stars on Yelp or whatever. And so if you include the link, they know to go look there, and then that's yours, and that's how they find it.
Don't worry, schema's deep.
Yeah,
that's when you're an expert. So we're taking you from kind of beginner to like superstar. Yeah, and so that should be quite fun. Did anybody have any questions, or I can just go rattle off?
I have one more question.
Yeah. Bring it.
So getting hold of like a person at Google My Business seems quite challenging. And I was wondering if by any chance you might have like contact details, like a phone number or an email address or a chat where they actually respond, or a
yes. So a couple.
I'll find it. Just one sec.
Okay, awesome. So couple things in that. Yes, and yes. On the weekend, I posted something in the larger Facebook group, Cyberpunk Geeks Marketing Mixer, if you're not in there. And that link took you to a place where you could book a meeting with somebody from Google My Business. However, we're Canadian. So for the Canadians, it said out of region. I would highly suggest going and booking that, because I'll pay somebody. So somebody went to book it. It costs $35 to book it. I don't know if they're selling you something more. Phelan, do you want to go get that link from the Facebook group if you're still
Got it. He's popped it into the chat.
Oh, that's
the support. So that is just strictly support for Google My Business.
Yeah. Very helpful, actually.
And that they do phone, or they do chat, or they do email. They're actually very responsive. I was very surprised. Anytime I've actually had to go deal with them, that they've actually been pretty good to deal with.
I have a hater somewhere in the world, several probably, but that's good. So, because they say you made it when you have a hater. Somebody clicked on this beautiful box that said duplicate business. Very ingenious on my business. It took all my images off. I think we're still adding them. But so it took me several weeks to figure that out, maybe 2 months. And we went through this process. So they were really helpful. Yeah. That's something you shouldn't do to a business, even if you hate them, just saying. It's not cool. But I mean, saying a business is closed, well, that's fine. But so, Phelan, do you want to get the link from the Facebook group about?
It's posted.
Okay, so the advisors, that's the link, and I would book something just to see. I found that was hidden. So, and it's in.
Thank you so much.
It's in beta.
Yeah, that's probably why we don't have access in Canada, because all their betas are always in the States, like Table 120, which looks so cool, and I wish we could use it, and it sucks that we can't.
Yeah, soon. right?
Well, they might just cancel it. Google, never underestimate Google's ability to just kill off one of its products randomly.
Right. Yes. So I have one question here. If pipe in if you want to interrupt, because I have a couple questions here, but this one is a really good one and something we should probably hit early, which is, and I'll let Phelan answer this, or we can have some dialogue about it. Rena can chime in. Anybody can chime in. So the question is there a big difference between WordPress, Wix, Square, etc., when it comes to professionality, SEO, etc.? Yes, there is a difference. More control, better SEO. Less control, worse SEO. So that's kind of, for example, I think it's Wix and Square. Space. When you upload an image, you don't really have to worry about it, right?
Yeah.
It will flatten it or make it smaller for you. WordPress does not do that. So you have to make sure when you're loading images to your website that they're light. And so that's a big difference. The other one is URL structure for Wix. Is it, Phelan?
Well, the biggest one that you'll find it on is Shopify. It's got a really cumbersome URL structure that we cannot change. And it's because they encoded it once in 06, and pretty much it would break all their systems if they changed it now. And so that's one thing, is that you'll get more flexibility in how you can control things. Another thing I would say is that WordPress has got, because it's a third of all websites are on WordPress, that the ecosystem for tools and making improvements for SEO is much better for WordPress.
Yeah. WordPress is, I think, like, I mean, I've worked in Magenta originally. I think there was a site. Yeah, did not like it. Drupal. Drupal's another one. But they've lost a lot of interest. So most people seem to pick WordPress or are hard coded or are Wix or Squarespace, I think, and Shopify.
Well, I mean, the e-commerce is like totally different. That's a whole nother, just dealing with e-commerce itself is like its own part. But it's definitely Squarespace, Wix, and WordPress are kind of like your mainstay options. I would definitely, if you're going to go self-hosted route, I would pick Squarespace over Wix. Wix is, I find, cumbersome.
Is everybody on WordPress here? The sites we're going to be working on is WordPress? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, awesome.
Not Candace.
Sorry.
What?
Sorry, Pip and Phelan. I remembered we had a discussion about this before. Well, most of the clients we do websites for are in WordPress, and well, Shopify is the next big one. But we discussed this before, where you guys mentioned that sure, if we maintain the WordPress well, like if we're doing the maintenance for the client or they're doing it well, optimizing and everything, then it's way better to be in WordPress, which is, we agree. But I guess if there's not a lot of maintenance and whatnot, it might be better with Shopify because the images are automatically optimized and whatnot, right? Is that still true?
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, the reality is that you have to work with what clients work with, right? If a client wants to take care of their own site and they are not going to be able to manage the image portion of things properly, then yes, I would go on a simpler site because of that. And then when maybe they're ready to transition into having more control, because things like WooCommerce it's kind of cumbersome, like for a business owner who has so many other things to do, to just get on there and then all of a sudden have to upload images, change. Unless you have a team doing it, it can be really challenging for a business owner. So it depends on their level of ability and how much time, energy, and resources they want to put into it, which should determine what choices you're going to help them make, right?
Right. Thank you.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the other thing I would say, yeah, definitely level of support that they're looking for and amount of technical knowledge that the client has. I would, if they're not very tech savvy and they don't have time, I would definitely steer someone towards self-hosted system like a Squarespace or a Shopify. the big thing that you got to watch out for, especially with Shopify, is their blog. So if they're going to do any content, their blog section is the weakest part of Shopify, hands down.
Right, right.
So you need to know, like, what are they looking to do out of it? Because maybe Squarespace is a better option because like they just need some light sales features in it. So maybe they only have like 1 or 2 items and the rest of it is a blog. Then if that's the case, then Squarespace would be a good option because it's all their support. So if anything goes wrong, they can call someone pretty much 24/7. So these things you got to take into consideration for as well.
Candace, did you have a question? Oh no, I noticed you jumped on. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I do have, I did get a question emailed to me, and it is, what is a search index? So we talked about, last week, we talked about what Google does, how that they they crawl, index, and rank, right, a website. And so to be more specific on that, they crawl, index, and rank each page of a website. So each page matters, right? Homepage is usually the page you land on. But the index is the database. So it's a huge database of all the content written that Google's been able to scan. Imagine how much information that is. Like, it's just insane. So,
well, especially considering Google only covers 10% of the internet. So there's huge sections of the internet that Google just doesn't cover because they're told not to cover it. There's all kinds of reasons, but there's actually like only a certain amount that's like meant to be visible to other people. A lot of it is just IP addresses that just aren't meant to be ranked.
Well, a good example of that is a calendar, a booking calendar. So you can have a booking calendar that goes on for years, right? And like Google's gonna like stop. Like if you have a booking calendar on your site and it goes to like 2028, you know, it can keep going. So they don't index all of those. They'll stop following the links, right? I don't know how many people have that option open though, forever booking. So it's you know, the reason I really like SEO, this is gonna maybe sound silly, but you know, when I was growing up, I didn't know how a plug worked. I didn't know, like, I didn't understand. I wasn't an electrician. I didn't know, like, hey, if the power goes out, you know, how do I create that myself? Still don't know how to do it, but I know that there's, you know, wires. And it's the same thing with Google and what's happening on search engines. Like, it's just better we learn about these things because they're fundamental to our lives. And the more we can understand how things work inside there, the more able we are to avoid crappy information, the more able we are to explain to other people what's going on and help business owners. Like the hardest part of your job as an SEO is going to be explaining things like, hey, did you search incognito? Simple little things that nobody thinks of, that when I search on Google, every search is different, every single one, right? So, and Google knows me. And so explaining that to a business owner is really actually hard for them to grasp for some reason. And maybe I'm just in it all the time. That's why I get it. But that's probably one of the hardest things, explaining that. Because business owners will search for their own business millions of times, right? If you're doing Google ads, it's actually bad. And like I've learned over the years to kind of suck it up, not say anything, because like 1 search, 2 searches, okay, doesn't affect because the number of impressions and the lack of clicks changes the click-through rate, right? We'll go over this in the future. But so searching for your business all the time for Google ads is bad. And I had a client last week, was it? That was like, I'm getting all my friends to search to see if we're showing up. And I was just like, oh God, no. It's one thing you doing it. It's another thing all your friends doing it. That's just going to ruin stuff. So anything that your colleagues, coworkers, bosses, or staff ask you, bring those questions here, because we love to know what people are doing and trying, right? And what they're, yeah. So I think, oh gosh, Got 5 minutes, 4 minutes and 48 seconds. Any other questions?
I have another question, but it's not SEO related.
Okay.
I need to learn to make videos. Do you have any recommendations of an easy
Yes.
video?
Yes, I do. I have the best recommendation of all time. I wish, Phelan, do we have an affiliate link? I mean, bloody hell at this point.
I think we actually do. Let me go grab it.
Okay.
But it's
We use something called Descript. Do you want to tell them? Should I tell them? It's the best thing ever.
yeah. I mean, I'm happy to because I heard about them when they were still in alpha.
He's
Uh,
taking credit. Did you hear that?
yeah,
Just
yeah.
a
But
little
that's
bit
because
of
well, no, it's because I followed a podcast that was like literally had invested in this company because it's a podcast editing, but then they've expanded to do video editing as well. And so it creates as you run the video through, it will create a transcription and it's like a Google Doc and you could just edit it like you would like a Google Doc, but you can also do that with like video clips.
It
So if you
edits the video when you edit the text. It takes
Mm.
out all your ums. If you go into Kajabi and you see the video we did last week, I'm sorry I don't have an intro and an outro yet. I was a little slow on the uptake with that. We changed our logo. However, that being said, you will see that video. Well, maybe you didn't hear all the so's. I say so a lot. That's what I know. But all the so's, I took them out. I took out all the long pauses. I do talk really quickly, so there weren't many. But like, it's so great and it's so easy, and you can change the sound to studio sound. You can like eventually, when it knows your voices a lot. It's called Descript. Monette. Phelan's gonna share a link in the.
Yeah, we don't have an affiliate yet.
Get an
so-
affiliate. We talk
Yeah,
about them all the time.
Yeah.
They're great and inexpensive.
Yeah.
Right. So, which is great. So I think it's like max $400 a year, and the most brilliant thing we've ever used.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's very easy to get started, and they have a lot of really good out of the box editing features that so you're
And-
not like doing like iMovie or anything like that.
Yeah, and the YouTube channel is brilliant. Like you can actually just go
Oh,
in, find exactly what you're looking for. Yeah, I actually, you know what's great? I'm now taking my client's video, putting it into Script, and then you can take little segments of the video, just copy it and make it a little clip. And so now I'm going through somebody's video, I'm making I made like 8 clips last week on one like 12-minute video. I was like, these are good. So it was very informative.
So much.
Yeah.
How long did that take?
Actually, so the video was 10 minutes, and I have like 5 or 6 segments, and it took me maybe 2 hours. I mean, 2 hours isn't that bad when you're new. I'm new. Imagine next week. Be like, bang. Be like 3 minutes. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Wednesday, second Wednesday of the month is co-working. If you want to join us, no obligation. We will be practicing creating Google alerts. We'll be practicing searching incognito and clearing our browser history on Chrome. The other thing before we go that y'all should get for next class, potentially, is a Chrome extension. Just quickly share my screen. I'm going to, hold on. Oh, I got to share my whole screen, I guess. Good, that doesn't make it so. Okay, so let's go over here. So the Chrome extension is this little dude. And so you type in, what is it? You type in Google Legacy Assistant, Google Tag Assistant Legacy, and just go to the Chrome store. So all you'd have to do is Google Tag Assistant. And is it Legacy? There it is, right? So just type that in, go over to the Chrome store and add it. It'll say add, so just add it. That's some secret sauce there. I'll tell you. So future you, if you do marketing, will love this because you'll be able to see stuff your competitors are doing, check other people's websites with this, check your own, see what's working and what's not. Anyway, that is it for today. Tomorrow's co-working. And then Thursday is a class, and we're doing our activation and setup. So bring your websites. We're going to go into Google Analytics. We're going to go into Tag Manager, and we're going to go into Google Search Console. If you don't have those, don't worry. We're going to show you how to get them.
Also, make sure that you have admin access to your website. And to check that, you'll just log in. If you're on WordPress, you'll log in. And if you see plugins on the left-hand side, you have admin access. Candace, you guys with Squarespace, if you log in, you'll go on the left-hand side, you'll need to see settings. If you see that, then you can go into the settings and then edit the code. And then that's kind of the big one, is we just need to be able to access the head code and the footer code.
Yeah. Awesome.
What's the Chrome extension?
It is Tag Assistant Legacy. So just type in Google Tag Assistant, and the first one to come up, Legacy, will be there. And we will link that somewhere. We'll put a link in the Facebook group, the little group, the Know How Marketing Lab group, so you can just click on it and go right to the resource. Or I could actually just copy this for you right now. So everybody who's right here, before we go, click on that link there. Bam. That'll take you right there. Because who doesn't like a link? Awesome. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're out of here. All right. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye. Keep saying bye. I can't move my
Bye-bye.
screen. Bye. Ooh,